Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. Hope you guys having a great Thursday night. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the like button on the way in here. Shout out to my man Humble. He said hit the like button on the way in here. Appreciate you, Humble. Good to see you, brother, like always. And yeah, welcome into The Real. Man, still hard to digest that Cavs loss from the other night from Game 2. Man, that was a tough one. How they blew it there down the end at the end of that game, and going back and watching the film the last couple of days, and you just kind of see ways where the Cavs, in my opinion, let the Pacers back in the game. Yes, they were shorthanded. Yes, they didn't have Darius Garland, their other ball handler, their other shot creator out there. We haven't had them all series, but there were still some things when you watch the film and you look back at it, you're like, man, you guys just simple plays we should have made that we kind of just gave it away. And I thought we let Indiana back in the game and we played right into what to do well. And here Kenny Atkinson after the game talking about how the guys look gassed too and how he wished maybe he should have played certain guys more. And I'm like, yeah, I think he probably should have. And I said that on my live after the game Tuesday night. I feel like he probably could have played Craig Porter a little more at certain stretches, not a lot. Craig Porter's not a guy you want to depend on, but I think just to give Donovan off the ball more and give your other ball handler like Ty Jerome some rest. I think towards the end of that game there, guys looked a little too fatigued, too tired. I think Donovan had to work. Donovan had to use too much energy. Obviously, he was the main scorer, but I feel like we could have, I think we could have helped Donovan out a little bit more by let him get off the ball more, and by doing that, maybe putting in certain stretches for even a couple minutes. When Jerome needs a break, put Craig Porter back in there because he's the only other point guard they had, and played well when he was in there. I thought played better defensively than most of the other guys. Even the 4 minutes he was in there, he did played pretty well defensively, I thought. And so let's get into some of this film here, and I'm gonna break it down. I almost said, thinking about it, I wish D. Mitch guarded Halliburton last play, but he was probably gassed. I don't know, so hard to say. Yeah, that was it was a bane play. They missed the free throw. They get the offensive rebound. I think guys just had to hurry up and match up. I think the Cavs, I'll get to that play in a couple minutes here, Humble, when I get to the fourth. I think, the lineup the Cavs had out there too, in my opinion, was too small. And so I'm going to get to that in a minute. I think Kenny Atkinson made a mistake there at the end of the game with the lineup he had in there. We only had we had 4 guards out there with Jared Allen trying to get a rebound. And we wonder why we gave up so many offensive rebounds. I think that's part of the reason why. But let's get to some of this film here. And so let's start with here in the first quarter. First quarter, the Cavs looked great. They looked like the Cavs that we were used to seeing all year, where they're moving the ball, high energy. They were pressuring the ball more, I thought, at Indiana. I thought in game 1, defensively, they were a mess. I thought they didn't pressure the ball enough. I thought they weren't fighting through screens enough, weren't getting back on defense, getting killed in transition. And so let's take a look here. Let me get my screen right. All right, so let's take a look here. So this is first quarter. First play here, I like this. 2 screens and a pass inside. That's what we've seen from the Cavs all year. Screening, passing, cutting. Right? Good basketball right there. Next play here, I like this. And this is one I want to see more of later on in the game. You don't have to be – you don't always have to have the ball in your hand to be effective. And I think a guy like Donovan Mitchell, he's getting better at this, and I think the team's getting better playing around him doing this is – at the end of the game, it was a lot of dribble, him trying to play hero ball game 1 and 2. And I gave him a lot more credit and a lot more leeway in game 2 because they were so shorthanded. And I think I think he kind of just said, "Screw it, I got to take over at some points," because nobody else could generate. But I like more of this kind of basketball. You saw the first play was just screening away, cutting, passing, right? But I like this right here. Don't just stand still. So don't just stay back there at the 3-point line waiting for the ball. Move towards the basket. You got direct line. Boom. Easy money. Make it easier on yourself and for the team. Take those easy baskets all day, right? And so uh even plays like this. This is the offense we've seen from them all year. This is Jared Allen right here on a dribble handoff. And he's got the just a handoff, but he's at the top of the key here. And this is the kind of offense we've seen from the Cavs all year that we haven't seen a whole lot of. I like that they're utilizing what I liked a lot this year is that they were utilizing the bigs more as playmakers in terms of just getting the ball in their hand, more of these handoff screens, and it makes take your guards off the ball more, especially your shooters, and allow them to do what they do, which is catch and shoot, get to their spots, more off ball cutting. It's something that Golden State has done so well all these years. And that's what he was in Golden State, obviously, with Steve Kerr, learning that system and coaching with it as well. He brought some of those same philosophies here. I think the Cavs at the end of the games have gotten away from what they've done well. I feel like the last 4 quarters they've gotten away from basketball like this. But in the first quarter, I think why they were so successful in that first half, it was just simple basketball like this. It's just utilizing your bigs, getting different ways to get guys open looks in the offense and moving the ball around and confusing Indiana's defense. And so I liked a lot of that more. And even here at the end of the game, you see the ball movement. Donovan penetrates, just the penetration and kick. You don't have to force the shot here. And I like this from Javonte Green, kicking it to the corner of the shooter, wide open. And again, that's what the Cavs, these first 4 plays I've shown, that's what the Cavs have done all year. Great ball movement, cutting, screening, not forcing it. Donovan using his ability, he draws so much attention, penetrating, kicking the ball out. And you can see they're pushing to the corner to Merrill. I feel like we'll get to the fourth quarter here. I feel like they got away from that, but that's the Cavs basketball we're used to seeing all year long, right? And so now there was the communication. I thought defensively they were better this game, especially through the first 3 quarters. I thought they were better, but I thought the communication like game 1 was still not ideal. I think the ball pressure was good, would force a lot of turnovers. Indiana was missing some shots. But you pressure Indiana because Indiana's not really a half court team. The other team likes to push the ball, get out in space and pace, and let Halliburton operate and find the open guys or take it all the way to the hoop or create for himself. Halliburton only had 1 assist in the first half. And I think a lot of that was because the Cavs were much fresher in their rotation. Their legs were fresher, playing Craig Porter. I thought Kenny's rotation was really good in the first half. But also their offense was their better defense in a lot of ways. Why I just showed that there when they run their offense that they've always ran all year, that I feel like in the second half of these games they've kind of gotten away from. It helps them out on defensive end, and they're able to pressure the ball more. Which when you pressure Halliburton more and you pressure their guards, it takes away kind of what they like to do well. It slows them down, makes them play half court basketball. But the communication at times over this series has not been good. Game 1 was not good at all. You can see here the Cavs look like they're in about 2-3 zone here. And you got Pascal Siakam with the ball here on the block, and TJ McConnell's just going to cut right through the back door and penetrate the zone. And nobody's, I think Donovan's out of position here, in my opinion. Usually you want your backside more towards the baseline so you could see the full court here. And he's the back man opposite of the ball, so it's his job here to communicate. And you can see here, McConnell gets right in the paint. And nobody checks him. He just easy shot there. So again, bad communication there. I think where the Cavs also in this series against a team like Indiana likes to play such fast pace, they have not gotten back at all in a good way. And this play right here to me sums it all up. When the Cavs are a team that likes to shoot so many threes, kind of like the Celtics, when you go against a team like Indiana, when you shoot these threes and they miss, a lot of times like this, they're longer rebounds, as you can see here. A team like Indiana, they love to push the pace. So if you're not hitting those threes and you're a team like the Cavs that loves to shoot, sometimes I think live and die by the 3 too much, especially when Mobley's healthy. I thought they did this in game 1. This is what happens when you don't get back on defense. And right here, as Sam Merrill's still backpedaling, he's kind of jogging, doesn't stop ball, and you allow McConnell to get up, and he's not a great shooter, but you allow him to get in rhythm, pull up and dribble. Well, he just hit the shot on you basically the last play before that when he broke into the zone. Um, this is what happens when you don't get back properly. You just see guys jogging constantly, and you know a team like Indiana, this is what they do well. This is where they get their rhythm, where they get their energy going in the game. And so now where I thought the Cavs were, where Kenny Atkinson, I thought did a really good job in the first half was in his rotations. As you can see here, Craig Porter's in the game. Now, Craig Porter's not the greatest. He's not a flashy player. He's not a. We don't really see a whole lot of Craig Porter, but when your lineup's this thin, outside of Ty Jerome, he's really your only point guard you really have available to you. And so I thought really in the second half he should have played Craig a little bit more, even for a couple minutes, just to take maybe Donovan off the ball more, give Jerome some rest. And I think that came back to bite him in the ass at the end of the game when they could barely get the ball past half court. They had to fight so hard just to get past half court because they were so tired. But Craig Porter gave them some really good minutes here. You see some of his plays. Bad pass there from Jared Allen, but he recovers well, gets the chase down block. You can see he's got fresh legs. I mean, he's ready to go. He hasn't played at all, so he should be fresh. He's obviously fresh and ready to go. And I thought he played well defensively, and he's a ball handler. I thought you could utilize him a little more. You see right here his activity, getting his hands on the ball, hands in the passing lane, breakaway dunk. He gave some really good minutes in 4 minutes. And so, I thought they really could have utilized him more. But they didn't. In the second half, I thought Kenny could have went back to the same rotation in the first half because it worked. But I feel like he went away with it, and he played his other guards too heavy. And Strus and Merrill, to me, are not ball handlers at all. The only other ball handler they had outside of Donovan was Ty Jerome. But Donovan's got to create so much offense that you could have helped him given another ball handler out there, in my opinion. And so, and I think that's what Kenny was referring to in the postgame. He wishes he would have played certain guys more. But let's get to this play here. I have marked down, as you can see, Donovan here. This play, I just had to show this one because this was incredible. This play. You can see when Donovan, when he's on and he's not, he's got full energy here. They set a high screen here at half court. It looks like Indiana switches, and Donovan just blows right past Halliburton. What a slam on Siakam. Damn, that was nasty. That is a watch that one more time. Boom. Man. And so pretty good first half overall for the Cavs. I mean, really good first half. You like the energy. You like the rotations from Kenny. Had some flaws still defensively, but I think overall they were moving the ball like they had all year. There was more like those plays I showed there. Why I thought they dominated that first half. Now the second half, I feel like it was like us watching slowly watching them get away from what worked in the first half. And so let me get some water here because I got to get ready for the second half. This is this second half film. Ooh, there was a lot of mistakes, but let's get some of these comments real quick too. The way we started game 2, if Mobley plays, we blow them out. We miss our young rim protection. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him throwing the ball more in the post too offensively. I thought game 1 he dominated Humble, and we talked about that in that game 1 film breakdown, and I thought they went away from that. I think they could have used him down the stretch in the game offensively too. I was thinking about what you said about DG Holland. Did we wait for him? Joe, I said we keep him. I thought long and hard. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna trade a guy like him away unless you get equal value or more in return. I mean, that's just what it is. So, I mean, I like DG, so I mean, I'm cool with it for now. But obviously, you want to see him healthier in the playoffs. DG is only going to get better. We haven't been able to the finals yet. I think we're 100% still hungry for the next couple of years. Well, we'll see. I mean, we've got to stay focused on this series here. I mean, we're not completely out of it yet. I mean, you're never done it's never over till it's over. And so that's how I look at it. And I think right now they got to do the best they can with what they have, which they did a good job next man up mentality in the last game. But I feel like they kind of, like I said, got away in the second half what they did well in the first half. And so we look at this play right here. This is in the third quarter now. Once again, you look right here. So the shot's already up. Max Strus is moving this way still towards the basket. Dean Wade's, they're the two back men here. And again, Indiana likes to push the pace. And so we don't, in my opinion, what I said the last show, if you look right here, Now the ball's in the middle of the floor. Max Strus is technically on the weak side because he's the back man here. As soon as this shot went up, Max Strus should turn around and start sprinting back and get in the middle of the floor to stop the ball. Reason is because that helps slow down them, helps stop the ball in transition, so you make them play half court. If you don't get back on transition, you let Indiana run up down the court, they're gonna destroy you. That's what they've done to the Cavs all series so far through 2 games, and that's what they do right here. Nobody gets back at all, wide open. That can never happen. And so they didn't make a lot of adjustments there in transition, I thought. I thought they pressured the ball more, which helped, and they had better offense in the first half. But when the Cavs try to play one-on-one hero ball and they try to jack up threes, and like I showed earlier, when those shots aren't going in, and the Indiana pushes the ball like that, that's where the Cavs start to find themselves going scoreless for stretches, and Indiana goes on a run and gets hot because you're playing right into what Indiana does well. That's their game, is fast pace. They like that. And so let's look at the next play here. I thought this one here, defensively, I thought Isaac Okoro. Oh, actually, the play before that. You can see here again, you have 3 guys right here just standing around after the shot. Now, Dean Wade was the shooter, so I give him some grace. But Mitchell and Merrill here got to get back. And again, you watch this play again. It's little things like this. You're having such a great 3 quarters with what you got, but you allow Indiana, these little things like this add up, and that's what happened at the end of this game. You allow Indiana back in the game. Nobody gets back. That's what they do well. And you can see right here, I thought Isaac Okoro, pressured Tyrese Halliburton a lot. You can see the matchup here. They want Halliburton. They want Okoro on Halliburton. I thought he did a good enough job. I thought he did okay, but I thought plays like this in the second half, I thought Okoro right here, I think he's a little too aggressive. As you can see, he gets too aggressive and he loses control. He doesn't really have any. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, he allows Halliburton to get inside leverage and break away. And I think he was a little too aggressive. I think he's too close up on him. You got to give a little space, keep him in front of you. You can't allow this to happen. He's got a direct line of the basket, and he makes the play. That's what he does well. He's going downhill. He can finish at the rim, or he can make the right read. He's a hell of a playmaker, and you give up a 3 like that, I think just because you were too overly aggressive. And so let's move on to the fourth quarter now. And this is where things get a little spicy. Things get really interesting here. Let's get on to the sad part now, Humble. This is the quarter we all did not like. What's the fourth quarter? And so again, overall, the 3 quarters, I think they're doing a good enough job to win the game with what they have. But like I said, the first half you saw a lot of what they did well. I thought in the second half they got away from what was working and went to things that weren't working. So if that makes sense. And so let's get to the next play here. And let's take a look. All right, so we got offensive rebound, I believe. I think you're Sam Merrill there. You got to have a little more awareness. And I get you're taught to catch and shoot, but you always got to at least have some awareness. Because you look, Max Strus is open right there at the 3-point line. Maybe swing it right there to Strus, pump fake, and swing it right here for this open shot. But I think when you're a team that, and again, look at the result of this. They give up another fast break point because nobody gets back. And I think that when you're the Cavs, and the Celtics, I think, deal with this too, and they're dealing with it right now with New York. When you're a team that lives and shoots the 3 and lives by the 3 and dies by the 3, when the shots aren't going, you're forcing up the 3-point shots and you're not getting back. You play right into what Indiana does well. And I keep saying that because it's what keeps happening here. You can see right here, trying to force the 3. Nobody gets back. And who should have got back? Dean Wade should have got back right here. And Strus again. But again, give up a wide open transition layup. And when you do this, you give them energy to get back into the game. And so let's get into my next clips I have here. Let me go to another site here. Give me 1 second. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. And hope everybody's still feeling better after the. Hope you guys are feeling better after the loss. Like I said, that was a tough one to swallow, for sure. That was a tough game. But again, I thought the Cavs' offense in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I know Mitchell wasn't out there, but you saw in the first quarter I showed the plays where they were moving the ball, right? Even without Donovan Mitchell, they was passing and cutting, utilizing the bigs to dribble handoffs, cut and just the offense that we saw all year, screening off the ball for each other, playing smart basketball. Some of these shots here in the fourth quarter, and you do this against a team like Indiana, and you don't get back. Uh, this is why they got back into the game. And I look at Ty Jerome's having a rough series so far. Not the Ty Jerome that we're accustomed to seeing all year. And you look at this play here, Dean Wade's going to come and set a screen. Looks like the class, pick and pop here. Ty gets in the middle of the floor. If you look right here, Miles Turner steps up, closes. He's trying to stop the direct line. He's allowing his man to get back. Now he calls a switch here, so I think that's Bennett. I think that's Mathurin guarding him. Whoever it is, they switch out to Dean Wade because Ty does a good job coming out wide and getting down the middle. But I think Ty here kind of forces this shot. He's kind of a awkward style player anyways offensively, if you know what I mean. You watch his game, he's very awkward. He's in his play style, he likes to get in the middle of the paint, but he likes those little off sidestep shots and unique floaters and stuff. I think right here, he probably, if I'm the Cavs, what they've done better all year was not force shots. They moved the ball. If I'm Max Strus here, I got all this space out here. I know he's coming this way. Why not space out to here? Because Nembhard he's going to the nail to try to cut off Jerome. I feel like the Cavs just could have got better looks. I mean, I feel like they're trying to, this is a force in my opinion. It's a waste of possession. I feel like and now here comes Indiana pushing the pace. I feel like right here, if Strus really just spaces out to here, as Jerome moves down more, the more he moves down, I think that you could have had the shot right here. That's a better look to me with Strus wide open. Than him trying to force a shot over a 7-footer in the middle of the paint. And again, you saw a lot of this with no Mitchell in the game. And I think this is why Donovan got so tired as well, because when he wasn't in the game, the offense, they weren't running the offense they ran all year. It was guys just trying to force shots still like that. Like Jerome, I feel like trying to force his offense right now. And I think that's why he's having a hard time. And he's had to use so much energy defensively as well, which it's making it harder on him. That's why that last play of the game, they went right at him. But and the next one I got here, let's look at this next clip I got. And again, this is where I feel like they could have maybe, if he would have ran some of the same rotation he had in the first half with Craig Porter just as a ball handler and a point guard, I feel like he could have made it a little easier on his team. And just it kept in terms of, let's run the offense, let's take guys off the ball and get them easier looks and run our system that we were so successful with all year. We went away from it. We tried just doing pick and roll, just either pick and roll and it's force a shot down the middle of the paint, or let's kick it out and let's chuck up a three. To me, it's just not efficient basketball. It's not the Cavs. That's the old team we saw the last 2 years with the JB offense. It's just very vanilla, very basic. And again, when those shots aren't falling and you're not getting back, you're playing right into what Indiana does well. And that's, you saw here already, 2 transition layups in this film here. So let me get to my next one here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, 9 minutes and 18 seconds. This play here. Again, you have the lead. And so let me get the share screen back up here. Give me 1 second. Appreciate you guys' patience. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. And so here we go. Let's take a look here.
Halliburton knocked it loose. For a tough break for the Pacers. Loose ball right to Allen and Mitchell underneath.
What are we doing here? I don't like that. I think you have the ball. Let's watch here. We get the offensive rebound. You got 10 seconds left. 7 seconds left. So he really had to, See, I think the ball should have got there now. He's open. The passing lane's right here. But I don't know why are we trying to jump into and do some acrobatic pass? And again, it's little plays like these, I feel like, that have really cost them. You're up 9, but when you give Indiana chances, they take advantage of it because they're a really good team. and they take advantage of turnovers and like those longer rebounds, and because they can push the ball. They like to play pace and space. They like to play fast. They can get back at a game very quickly because of their pace if you allow them to. And I feel like when you just waste opportunities like this is a waste of possession here. We're fumbling the ball. Now luckily we get the offensive rebound, but it's like we don't need to play. I don't understand why Donovan's trying to jump in and then pass. Like the passing lane's already open right here. Just slow down and just take your time and make the right play. That ball should have got to Strus earlier. That's a good look. You'll take that look. I mean, that's Strus wide open in the corner. I'll take that. We'll take that, obviously. That's a great look. But we're trying to be too aggressive, play hero ball, and you turn the ball over. Now you waste another possession. I don't like that. The ball should have been out. If I can slow the thing down here. Ball should have been out right there. I mean, he's open. You can see his eyes, too. He could see the passing lane right over the top. Same play. He's made it. He's made that same pass this year to Strus in the corner many times. But I think we're just trying to be too aggressive here. Waste possession. Another turnover. It's a nice team. 2 plays here from Jerome in the fourth quarter. You see one from Mitchell there where it's just like we're trying to play too much hero ball. We're not running the offense. We're wasting possessions. And you're giving Indiana chances to get back into the game. And we're also not getting back on defense like we should still for some reason. I don't know why that's not been addressed. But the next play I have here, let's get to this. I think it was 6 minutes and 1 second right here. And so this play, let's take a look. And I feel like if you're Ty Jerome here, you got to have a little more awareness, right? He should be right here. You don't need to be out here. You need to be out here. The wider you are, your defenders will all the way over here. So the closer you are, the closer he's going to be able to close out on you. And I think also the wider, Jared's coming this way. He's got this side of the paint. Be right here, right? Or just cut. I mean, you could even cut here and get a left-handed layup. And that's stuff they've done all year. But I feel like in the fourth quarter, just a lack of awareness on some of these plays. And not only that, when he catches the ball, too, even where he caught the ball, if you look at Halliburton's body weight, rip it and go middle. He's running at you. So rip it and go opposite of his body weight. I mean? He's giving you that. And that's his shot. Jerome's better at getting the middle of the floor, hitting that little floater. He had the shot open right here. But we're trying to force the ball and we're just trying to force things. We're not playing smart basketball here. And we're getting away from what we've done well all year with proper spacing. It's the little details that can cost you. It can waste a possession, can lose you a game. Was that not on full screen? Okay, let's try this again. I don't know if you guys even saw the play. My apologies for that. Let's take a look at this play again, what I'm talking about. So now you guys know what I'm talking about. Again, I think what I was saying was I think Jerome should be right here, space to here. Your defender's over here. The wider you are from your defender, the longer distance he has to cover, the more time you have to get his shot. Or you could even cut right here and get a left-handed layup if the timing's right, if you time it properly. Allen's going to turn, dish it to you left hand. Or if you still are in that spot, what I was pointing out too, look at Halliburton's body weight. He's coming this way. He's moving this direction. You're on your left pivot foot. His shot all year has been right here in the middle. He's got that little floater, a little pull-up right here. Jerome's shot all year. Why not use his body weight against it, rip it and go this way, get in the middle of the floor, and get to your shot right here? But I don't know what we're trying to do here. We're trying to force. We're driving into no man's land, and then we're trying to force the ball inside to Isaac, who's not even looking for the ball. Again, it's a waste of possession. It's just bad basketball. It's not what they've done all year. It's not the type of movement, the spacing that we've seen all year. Like, he should be right there. But it's another waste of possession. And I feel like the Cavs are just got away from what they're good at. And in the fourth quarter of these last 2 games, it's like I said, it's just been hero ball. It's been pick and roll. It's just high pick and roll. It's just if it attacks, if it's there, great. Let's force a shot, or let's kick it out and force a three. It's just a lot of forcefulness. And I think they're making it harder on themselves, in my opinion, with their offense. And so There's another play there. And again, now you look at it, the last play I showed where they forced it, it was a 9-point game. Now you look, it's a 6-point game. And you're giving Indiana chances to crawl back in this game. And this is where I think the Cavs went wrong in this. They allowed Indiana to get back into the game because of just forcing the ball, not getting back on defense. I thought the rotations were a little off too. I thought you could have played Craig Porter a little more at the beginning, and probably at the end of the third, probably I would say, or maybe in the beginning of the fourth, just for a minute, just to give your ball handler. You only had 2 ball handlers, and that was Donovan and Ty Jerome. And so I would have probably put it where he was out there again with Mitchell, like he was in that one spurt, and play Mitchell off the ball more to give him more of a break and where you get easier shots. But and cutting and moving off the ball, we're not seeing a whole lot of that. And so, again, this is another waste possession here from the Cavs, and you're giving Indiana chances to get back into the game, right? And so, let's go to my next one here. Give me 1 second. My next player in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes 52 seconds. Give me 1 second. So right here, let's take a look at this play.
And we hit the 3-minute mark left.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what we're doing here. So we come up and set the screen. We're trying to get the switch, obviously. We got Mitchell. We're trying to push it in transition. They don't switch, which is smart on their part. Fight through the screen. And I don't know where Donovan's going here with this ball. He looks tired. Not gonna lie, he looks like he's slow. Yeah, he looks like he's walking a quicksand a little bit. You could tell he's just kind of slugging up down the court. I would look at it like this: you're up 6, right? It's 3 minutes left in the game. I get you're trying to push it in transition because a lot of times you push in transition, you get these. You set this high screen roller here. You get down to the basket, you usually get the layup, but it's not there. And then also in this play too, you could tell again they're trying to push it in transition. I just feel like we should run some more offense here. Like, why not take some time off the clock and just not force the shot? You're up 6 with 3 minutes left. Why not try to just execute and get the 2 points? And I think this Donovan's here trying to force this here. I know he's trying to play to the whistle. He may have got fouled there. Let's take a look at it. It's a tough sequence. I get why you want to push it in transition. I totally get it. I mean, this is what they've done all year. It's what many teams do. It's a good look. They didn't get the switch they wanted, though. And I feel like if you didn't get the switch, I probably would have dished it right here. And let's recircle back out. You got 16 seconds still on the clock. You'll probably 14 by the time you start running a play, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think it's a lot of forcefulness again. And again, here comes Indiana, and we're complaining to the refs, and we're kind of slow getting back. It's a 6-point game. You're letting them get back into the game by wasting possessions. I think against a team like Indiana, it's better in this situation with 3 minutes left to just take your time here. You're already tired. So I don't think you need to forceful. If I'm Donovan, I'm already tired. I don't need to force anything. I don't need to play hero ball here. Let's just run let's run it. Let's call a set. Let's run a play here. Maybe give it to Max Strus and let Donovan get out the ball and run a set for him to get to a spot, or a way maybe he can cut back door, but defense can be overly aggressive with him. Like we saw earlier in the game, that pass and cut we saw. I feel like they could just take some time out the clock here and still get a better look. That's just me. I don't think we need to force anything, but I get it. Trying to push it in transition. I totally get it. And maybe the shot itself might have just been. Yeah, I mean, he's tired, though. I mean, you could tell he's tired. Maybe get into his body more. But I feel like you're trying to just force it there and just play for the whistle. But again, it's another waste possession, and you're letting them hang in there. You're letting them hang around in there. It's little things like that I thought that let them back into the game. And so let's go to the next play now. And this play here, I got a couple thoughts on this next play because this play here was just wild. Let's get into it. So Max Strus. Now Ty Jerome, I believe, is out in this play. He's not in the game. Yeah, he's on the sideline. So if you look at this lineup here, right, we got Donovan Mitchell, who's played a crap load of minutes, has been basically your whole offense the whole game. 2 minutes left. It's a 7-point game. You're up 7 still. So you still got a good enough lead where you can put it away. And 2 minutes left. You look at the lineup though itself. We got Dean Wade and Jared Allen. I don't mind that. Dean Wade's your next available big man you had. He could face the floor and shoot. You got a match with Siakam and Turner. Obviously, on Mobley, this is the best you can do with what you had. I like that. Isaac Okoro's out there, and then you got Max Strus. And so I get why Okoro's out there because you want to put him on Halliburton, right? But it's really I don't know. You're up 7. You got the lead. You really need a basket here. I know you want to get stops, but you need a basket. A couple baskets here, a stop, and maybe 2 stops and 2 scores. You really put the game away with 2 minutes left. So it's tough in terms of the lineups and what he's trying to. I get what Kenny's thinking here defensively, but when you don't have somebody out there that can generate other offense or make a decision, you find yourself in situations like this. And I wonder, too, Ty Jerome didn't play a lot of minutes. Well, first off, let's take a look at this play.
It's the initial point of attack defense that sets up a defensive possession.
I don't know what we're doing here. I don't need Max Strus trying to do a reverse layup ever again.
It's the initial point of attack defense that sets up a defensive
But again,
possession.
you don't have – the only other real offensive shot creator you have out there is Donovan Mitchell. And so you leave yourself in situations. And again, you look at what we're doing here. This is what I've been talking about all year. Or, well, not all year, but all this film session here. All year long, the Cavs are so good at screening for each other out the ball, constant ball movement, cutting to the basket, get into easier looks, right? Keeping the defense off balance. You look here, Donovan. Looks like Donovan just didn't get the look he wanted. And let's just throw it to the corner. And if Max Strus usually shoots this 3. So, again, it's either Mitchell gets a layup or can create his own shot. If he can't, let's just fling it over to whoever's open on the wing and hope they can make the 3. But this, I don't know what Strus is thinking here. Usually, the big man's going to step up, so you hit the dunker here in Allen. Now, he sees Siakam coming over. I think Dean Wade needs to move down to here. We're right behind Siakam. He needs to move down. And the reason why he wants to do that, because if Strus is going baseline, the passing line is from here where the ball is to where you are, right? Inline pass. If Dean Wade scoots down a little bit to here right now, he's going to get himself open to get the pass, to shoot the 3, to get the look. Or if I'm Max Strus, maybe just, I don't know, lob it up to Allen here. He's in the dunker position. Drop it down to him. I just don't get why. Again, this is another forceful offensive possession. And going back to Ty Jerome, I was mentioning about him too. You look at this lineup. There's only one ball handler really out there, and that's Donovan Mitchell, who's had to exert so much energy, and he's really your only offense in this game. You look at 2 minutes left. Ty Jerome's your other good ball handler, but he's on the side because he played so much beginning of the 4th. Right? And so this is my whole thing with the rotations in the second half. You probably could have utilized Craig Porter more at the end of the 3rd and the 4th just as a ball handling duties. Just even if it's for another 4 minutes like you did in the first half. That's complete. Those extra 4 minutes on the side of him getting a breather for Ty Jerome, at least now he's out in the game now when you need him. Because I don't like this lineup at this moment at the end of the game. I probably would take out Okoro and put Jerome back in. And do what we've done all year. Have the 2 bigs and the 3 guards. I mean, we've done it all year. What's the point? I mean, don't go away from what you've done now. And so I get putting Okoro on him for defensive reasons, but you're up 7 with 2 minutes left. Why not try to get better offense? When the Cavs in the first half ran their offense well and were passing and cutting like you saw in the clips, it was their better defense. Because you make Indiana play half-court basketball. We're just trying to get stops here. We're not trying to score points, it looks like, with this lineup. And that's my whole thing. Ty Jerome's over there with a towel around his neck with 2 minutes left, and you only have one ball handler out there in Mitchell who is gassed, and you really need to take him off the ball, let him get past half court, then let him save his energy for offense. And Jerome only played 28, 29 minutes. And I think That's why when Kenny Axon after the game said he wishes he would have played certain guys more, he's kind of kicking himself in the ass. I know this is exactly what he's thinking about. This is why what I said right after the game. And there's no reason Jerome, your other ball handler, should not be out there with 2 minutes left. And because you get plays like this. And he's only played a certain amount of minutes, but the minutes he did play, the way Kenny staggered the minutes and the rotation in the second half, it caught up to us here at the end a little bit. And with possessions like this.
It's the initial point of attack defense
this
that
is not,
sets up a defensive
that's
possession.
not ideal. Max Strus is not making that shot ever. He's just not. I like Max Strus. He had a really good game. I'm not picking up. He's been a really good player for us. He could shoot. But Max Strus is not hitting a reverse layup. That's never been his. That's not his. He's not Kyrie Irving.
The initial point of attack.
All right, he's not Donovan Mitchell.
Sets up a defensive possession.
This is another waste possession. Another waste possession. And look what happens. Indiana pushes the ball in fast break because we're not getting back, and you're playing right into what they do well. It's what I've been saying the last game one, that film breakdown. What I'm saying this film breakdown in my post game the other night. We allowed them back in the game because of our decision making, our rotations, and our style of play. The way we were trying to play went against what we've done all year. We went against our principles we've had all year, and you played right into their hand.
It's the initial point of attack defense.
And what do they do? A bad shot, and they get out. Nobody gets back. Look at this. Donovan and Okoro should already be behind half court. You know what they're going to do. You need to get back already, especially Okoro. He should have got his ass back already.
By Miles Turner to force the difficult.
Well, Donovan probably should have got back to. Well, let me take a look at this one more time.
How about the?
Yeah, Donovan should already be back. Donovan should already be back behind half court. Okoro should be back. Nobody stops the ball. And Siakam took it all the way to the rack. And again, now it's a 5-point game with 2 minutes left. You're letting them get back into the game because of bad offense, bad decision making, a lot of forcefulness. Guys are tired, and you're playing right into what Indiana does well. They allowed Indiana back into the game. And so let's go to my next one now. Let's take a look here. So that was, did I have that? Let me check my plays here. Give me 1 second, guys. So the Strus, okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm going through my notes here, make sure I got the right place for you guys. All right, so my next one I have for you guys. Let's go to 8 minutes and 38 seconds on this video. Blah, 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 blah. Right here. And so this is where the game really gets crazy at the end here. All right. This is the last 2 minutes of the game where we saw just some incredible stuff here. And if you're a Cavs fan, this makes you want to vomit. But here we go. And so Halliburton gets to the rim. But if you look at the loose ball here, I mean, Charles Barkley said it in their post game on TNT. The Cavs gave up so many offensive rebounds here at the end of this game. That ball's on the ground and we can't corral it. And I get it's tough sometimes the way the ball moves. It's moving fast when it's rolling on the ground. But if I'm, you just hate to see that. We can't corral the ball. I mean, I think it went off Allen's foot, bounced off the rim, ricocheted off the rim, went off Allen's foot. Strus maybe could have dove for it, but I mean, it's tough. Take a look one more time. Yeah, I mean, if Strus was a little more towards the baseline, we could have got that. But again, you can't give this team. Indiana's not a team you can't give second chances to. Good defense though from the Cavs, but they just could not corral the rebound. And that was a lot of this of what happened here at the end. We just could not corral the rebound. And so here we go here. And again, going back to what I said in the beginning of this, remember I talked about the Cavs' communication on defense. And I thought, in my opinion, this series, their communication on defense has not been that good at all, in my opinion. And so we take a look here. If we look at our two bigs here. Jared Allen staring at the ball, not looking at the two. He's got either Siakam or he's got Miles Turner. With Dean Wade on the court, I would put Dean Wade on because I think Jared Allen's a better perimeter defender than Dean Wade. I mean, they're both not great, but I think Jared moves his feet better defensively. Dean Wade, to me, is just barbecue chicken when he's on the perimeter. And so I would rather have Dean Wade, who's been boxing, who had 10 rebounds this game. So he's been okay. And if Turner's going to go park it out there at the three-point line, he's really not a rebounding threat. But Jared Allen here is not paying attention. Nobody's communicating. And Dean Wade should be communicating here in the back end, saying, Jared, get up, up, Siakam. But he can't. And now it forces Dean Wade to have to run out to Siakam to stop the ball. And it's too late. And you give Siakam a wide open. And again, this is a 5-point game with 30 seconds left. You need to stop here. You've had some bad offense. Now, they did hit that. I didn't put the Strus 3. They got the Strus 3. They finally got a bucket, which is good. And Donovan got to the line a little bit to keep that lead up. So there was some. Yeah, I thought Donovan did a really good job of getting the line here at the end, because really he was the only offense they had. And so, but again, you look at this play here. Let's fast forward. So again, there's the loose ball play. Oh no. Right here. Again, bad communication, bad rotations. You let Siakam get right to the basket, and now it's a one-possession game. So here we go. It's a one-possession game now. You've let them get back into the game. You were dominating most of the game for 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, you got back to your bad habits. You're trying to play hero ball like we saw, bad offensive possessions, trying to force the ball, trying to force shots, not getting back on defense. It all adds up. And so here we are now. And again, not communicating, not rotating on defense. Let's take a look at that play one more time. Late rotation. Do you have a guy like Siakam who can handle the ball, get right to the basket? And I think you got there one dribble. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, one dribble to the basket. That's unacceptable. Now it's a one-possession game. And so let's get to the infamous play here that really sparked this. That really was the cherry on top, in my opinion, this comeback. Because the Cavs, you're still up 3, right? You're still up 3. You still got the ball in hand. You just need to get the inbound here and get fouled, get the free throw, play the free throw game. So let's take a look at this out of bounds play that everybody's talking about. And let me get it on the share screen here for you guys so you guys can see it again. Again, unfortunately, if you're a Cavs fan, watching these highlights back again just makes you want to vomit. It's just not. It's just saddening. What a heartbreaking loss. But so here we go. So the Cavs, this is an out of bounds play that many teams run in the NBA. It's kind of generic in my opinion. I feel like in this situation, well, first off, let's take a look at the play again. So turnover, again, not what we want obviously at all. This is the worst case scenario. We're up 3. We need to inbound the ball here with 27.5 seconds left. Right? We need to just get open and get fouled. That's all we need to do. But in my opinion, this is a pretty basic play. So Sam Merrill's going to space out to here. He's going to clear out. He's going to run this direction. That's not open. If you take a look here, Jared Allen's on the back end. He's just going to run in the middle of the floor here. And then Donovan Mitchell's going to come down to here. And they're trying, you could see Ty Jerome trying to seal his man. It's really a jump ball, basically, what they're trying to do here. Can we throw it into Ty Jerome? So they clear out, and Donovan spaces out. Donovan's the first read. Donovan's not open. He's got, I mean, he can't even get it. He can't create separation. He's so tired. Kind of getting held to in a way. I mean, Donovan's hooking him too. You can see that forearm there hooking, hooking Neesmith. Neesmith's hooking back. So it's kind of, I like the no call there. It's playoff basketball. Donovan's energy was just so low. You could see at the end of this game because he had to do so much. But again, if I'm Kenny Atkinson, and I like Kenny Atkinson a lot, I think he's done a hell of a job. He's the coach of the year, well deserved. But he's having a rough series, in my opinion. He's not having a good series with some of the rotations, just the game planning, and then this right here, this out of bounds play here in a crucial situation. I think you got to have the awareness as a coach. You know, Donovan's tired. We'd rather have Donovan get the ball more than anybody here, right? We trust him the most at the line. Ty Jerome as a free throw shooter is kind of iffy. I mean, I get it. But now you look at the size here. We're trying to have Ty Jerome basically seal Nembhard and throw it up and hope he gets it. Nembhard's 6'4", Ty Jerome's 6'5". There's not really a big height difference here. It's not like it's a switch you got, you know what I mean, and all of a sudden a guy's going to get open. I would have liked to see more of a screen here from Jared Allen. Jared Allen, he's really doing nothing. He's not going to get the ball unless he necessarily has to. Now, he was good from the line this game, but I would rather have my big man screen a guy open. Why not screen somebody open? When your guys are fighting so hard, your rotations are so short this game because you're so banged up, why not make it easier on your guys? I feel like this out of bounds play here was the hardest play call we could have made. We could say it's, they got to execute, but you got to have the awareness of the situation as a coach, the fatigue factor. You could see it playing out on the court. We all could see it. And he even said it after the game, they were gassed, and he was regretting some things, it sounds like, from what he said. I just think you could have got a better play drawn up here rather than this. I just think that's a low execution play there. It's a low. It's just not a high. As fatigued as they were too, you could say it's a 50-50 ball here in the air, but I would say it's most like how tired we were, a 40-60 ball. And that's how it played out. I feel like we could have screened Donovan open, made it easier for Donovan. I mean, look how hard Donovan's got to fight just to try to get open on one-on-one, but he's so fatigued because he had to use so much energy. I just feel like as a coach, you got to do a better job here for getting a better play drawn up than this. And the bad part about this too, guys, if you look at the lineup, it's Strus, Mitchell, Jerome, and Sam Merrill. We have 4 guards out there and 1 big, and Jared Allen. That is that's high school small. Right? And so now when you draw up a play like this, if it doesn't convert, which it doesn't, now you're forced to play in a live ball situation on defense and match up with Indiana, who has a bigger lineup out there, and you get put in a blender. And that's exactly what happens here on this next play. And so again, to me, it's a way too risky. We can get on Strus for throwing the pass, but Strus is really just running the play, right? The first read wasn't there. This read's not there. So the read is to here. And I get it's a simple out of bounds play that teams have run all the time. But I feel like in this situation as a coach, you can't put your team in this situation to begin with. We can get on Strus for throwing the pass, but Strus, and really it wasn't really Strus' fault. Ty Jerome gave up inside leverage here and didn't really fight enough. He could have sealed his guy a lot better. He gave up leverage, allowed Nembhard to swim move him. And that's on Jerome in that scenario. But as a coach, I wouldn't even put him in this situation to begin with. It's like the old saying, players win you games, coaches lose them. Remember that quote. Players win you games, coaches lose them. And so, again, I feel like you could draw up something a lot better here. Why not draw up something where we're screening Donovan open, the guard to guard screening each other, right? You got Siakam on Merrill. Why not... why not use that against their advantage? Why not go have Merrill go screen Mitchell and try to get that switch and make them run length of the court? And all he has to do is just get open, catch the ball, and they're going to foul him. Why not screen each other open? I just feel like we didn't do that. And we didn't do that in our whole offense again in this fourth quarter, the last 2 games. All year long, it was passing and cutting and screening out the ball, screening away, and good basketball, good movement. That makes it easier on our offense and for our team. It helps us defensively. It makes Indiana play half court. But we're trying to do way too much forcefulness. Again, that's the word I keep using, forcefulness and one-on-one. And you find yourself in these situations, and now you just kind of cost yourself the game. You cost yourself the game because of it. And now you got to match up again with 4 guards out there. So let's get to that play here. Let's watch the last stretch here. We've all seen it. It's saddening. It's it's terrible. And so let's let me pull up the end here for you guys. We've all seen it. And we'll have to watch it, unfortunately, one more time. If you're a Patriots fan, you're loving this. I mean, you're probably watching this on replay since Tuesday night, probably 100 times. Give me 1 second. So here's the end of the game here, the last play. So we just turned the ball over on the bad out-of-bounds play. And Indiana, Halliburton eventually gets the ball up top. And you look, again, we have 4 guards out there because we tried to play. We ran an out-of-bounds play, trying to get we had 4 guards out there, trying to get 4 free throw shooters out there. And we called we drew out the worst out of bounds play, and it bit us in the ass. And now we have to match up with 4 guards out there. And you can see with the play call here, they space Miles Turner out to the perimeter here and forces Jared Allen to have to move away from the ball, or move away from the rim, excuse me. So now you have no rim protection down here. and it forces you to foul Halliburton. You're up 3, and that's exactly what happens here. But here's where, again, so you have a foul. So you have 2 free throws here. We all know during free throws you can substitute, right? I don't understand, and I didn't realize this till today. Look at the lineup still. You need a rebound. I get you're thinking they're going to make the free throws, right? But you can never, as a coach, say guarantee anything that that he's going to make this free throw. We can still keep our 4 guys out there that we want in an inbound situation for us to get an inbound pass so we can hit our free throws. You have to secure the rebound at all costs. You have to secure the ball. Why Dean Wade should have been in the game. If I'm the coach, I'm checking in Dean Wade. The first thing you have to do is secure the ball. I don't want Donovan Mitchell down here, number 1. I don't want him down here. I'd rather have probably Ty Jerome because he's taller, or maybe take Merrill out and put Strus here if you're taking Dean Wade. I don't get this lineup. Again, you can never guarantee the guy's going to make the free throw as a coach. You can't take that bet, in my opinion, when you're this. I don't think you should ever be this small ever. We have 4 guards out there, literally. And we wonder why they gave up this offensive rebound. Because we were outmatched. I mean, 6'7" the shooter. 6'6" here with Neesmith. 7-footer here with Miles Turner. You got a 6'10", 6'9", 6'10" guy in Siakam trying to be guarded by a 6'2", 6'3" Merrill. Right? And I think they got Nembhard 6'4" back here. I mean, they're a lot bigger than you. You have to always secure the rebound first. You should. I just don't understand why Kenny Atkinson was. I get what he was thinking here. Where we're going to bet he's going to make both free throws, and we'll still have our 4 guys out there that we want to try to inbound the ball, so we can have our guys that can hit free throw. But again, I just feel like you always got to try to secure the rebound. I think what he's thinking here was Strus could handle Neesmith, but I just think if I'm a coach, I'm still subbing Dean Wade out there. He got me 10 boards up to this point in the game. I'm always going to make sure I secure the rebound, and we'll figure it out from there. We can get somebody, and again, you should be able to have guys screen open for you. And if I put Dean Wade in the game, I'm going to use Dean Wade to go screen away a guard. Let's say he does make the free throw, right? Well, I still got my guys out there. I'll use my bigs to go screen off one of my guards and get them open. We'll inbound the ball. You should be able to execute that. Right? I mean, you should be able to execute that. And so, but again, this is what happens. We're way too small and it all goes back to the bad offensive out of bounds play. It'll put you in this position to begin with. And just really the bad offense the whole 4th quarter, the forcefulness, not getting back at transition, all the things I've been pointing out, the bad communication, bad rotations, all of it. They let Indiana back in the game. They blew this game. They lost this game more than Indiana won it. And I felt in game 1 it was kind of similar as well. They kind of gave it away. And you played right in what Indiana does well. It's a hell of a shot here by Halliburton. My goodness. So in and out, he gets right to his spot, man. Man, he got right to his spot. He's a rhythm shooter. So tween, cross, step back. Yeah, that's money. Got right to his spot. What could Ty Jerome done better here? I mean, I don't know. I feel like he definitely lost. He got a little too right here. You can see his he's trying to force him right, which I don't know if that works because if you force him right, you're only forcing him into 6'1" Donovan Mitchell down low your rim protection. I think you probably just got to play him square up there. I don't know, but I mean, he's a rhythm shooter. He went right. He got right to his spot. I guess the only thing he could have done better is maybe been a little more forced him right. I guess you could say, if that makes sense, because you knew he wanted to get back middle. That's what he does. He likes to get middle and get his rhythm going. That's exactly what he did. Damn, hell of a shot by Halliburton. But again, there's the film breakdown there. And again, you heard a lot of what I think of what happened here. I think the Cavs really let them back into the game, which is bad. I could break down that last shot there by Halliburton for another 20 minutes, but they should never been in the position to begin with. And that's my whole point with the Cavs in game 1 and game 2. They should have never been in those positions to begin with. Their bad offense, their bad decision making, their forcefulness let them back into the game. And it bit him in the ass. And I feel like Kenny Atkinson really is not having a good series. I think that's why after the game you could tell he was hardest on himself, saying, I wish I would have played certain guys more in certain minutes. I wish I would have did things a little differently. Guys were burned out. It was a tough loss, tough pill to swallow, but I feel like the Cavs really beat themselves more than Indiana won that game. And they really handed that game to Indiana, allowed them back in that game down the stretch, like I showed in a lot of these, the bad offense, the bad defense. And one thing I just can't get over, too, is just them not getting back in transition on defense. Indiana's a team that likes to push the ball, right? They like to force the ball. They like to push the pace down the floor. And nobody got back. Nobody got back on defense. A lot of times we just like to crash all 5. But when you're a team like the Cavs that shoots so many threes, you live and die by the 3. I think you shoot too many threes sometimes. And you saw that one play, the longer rebounds, when you miss them, those longer shots usually turn into longer rebounds and allows their guards to get the rebounds or their wings, and they can push the ball up the floor. Again, you're playing right into what they do. You need to run your offense that you ran all year, get better sets, better looks, and run your sets and get better looks and make them play half-court offense. If you make them play half-court offense, you have a better shot. If you don't, what we've seen the last 2 games, especially in the fourth quarter, you're going to keep seeing it. And so, and now you got to go to a louder. And the one thing I'm most concerned about is, besides the health, obviously you miss Darius Garland a lot. He's your other ball handler, your other shot creator. Without him, we're seeing a lot of the bad offenses because Darius really isn't there. But the defensive part of it, I don't care who's out there. Bad teams play in silence. Good teams, they're always talking. They're always communicating. The communication part, I'm really worried about, because I saw no change really from game 1 to game 2 in the communication side of things overall, especially in the crucial points of the game. Like we saw again, the Dean Wade and Jared Allen mishap, not communicating. You're going to one of the loudest arenas in the NBA in the field house. So you have to communicate. Or imagine if they don't communicate. If they keep doing what they're doing now, the last 2 games in the field house, shit. That really worries me if I'm the coaching staff. Like, I really need to hammer in these guys. We need to talk, get back to communicating, talking, which we've done all year. But for some reason, we're not doing that defensively these last 2 games. So I don't get it. But I'm going to end it with this. I saw this clip, shout out to Gil's Arena. This is Kenya Martin, Gilbert Arenas, and Rashad McCants giving their take on the Cavs series here. And I thought they really point out some good points here that I brought up in this film session. The same things. A lot of things I just broke down to you guys. These are former players here, and they kind of break it down like I did, but even in a better way, because they can see it from a former player's lens. And so let's listen to what Gil and all these guys had to say here. I think they made some really good points here, and why I think the Cavs have found themselves in the hole they're in. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but the thing Cavs do have, when they're fully healthy, they have 2 dudes that can offensively just say, fuck it, I can take the game over. Mm-hmm. Indiana's playing real team basketball. Cavs play team basketball, but they do have 2 dudes that can do their own thing. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a big advantage. Indiana don't have a 50-point dude in them. Right? So if they're playing bad, they're playing bad because they're all relying. Like Hallie had, I think, almost going into halftime, he only had 1 assist. Yeah. Right? Because people wasn't hitting shots. Yeah. Right? Because that's what he relies on. If they don't have no assists on Cleveland, that means Donovan Mitchell saying, fuck all y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I still do believe in Cavs if everybody's healthy.
And again, pay attention to what he said there. It's what I pointed out earlier. If they don't have the assist, basically saying if they're not getting the open looks and running their offense, it forces Donovan to have to do more. And I feel like what Kenny Atkinson, some of his rotations in the second half, and the offense the Cavs were running, the forcefulness, and put themselves in that situation. And Indiana's a team that likes to play really good team basketball, and they can push the pace. You play right into what they do well. And so let's take a listen to what Gil has to keep saying here.
Healthy. Okay. If they going in there and it's just basically Donovan Mitchell, it's like, all right, hey, this is the bubble again.
So when
you playing against Denver, it's the bubble. You're going to have 55.
Yes.
But it's going to be a hard 55 because you look tired out that motherfucker. He got the ball at half court. This motherfucker did this, dog. The guy came up for a pick and they looked like they was about to double. He was like, hi, motherfuckers. I was like, damn, man. Coach, just call a timeout. This motherfucker gone.
So you're saying they can only win when Garland comes back?
Yeah. Yes.
If they have,
or the other two.
If they have
Mobley is 3 of them.
If they have Garland, I'm giving it to the Cavs because now you got two of your guys, right? It's like old Portland with Dame and McCullough. I can go to war with
But no Hunter, no Mobley.
If I don't, but no, if I don't have,
they lost with Hunter and Mobley.
If I don't have Garland, at least give me Mobley. At least give me Mobley because I still got my 4-man that's gonna be active and he gonna play some defense. If I don't have Mobley, Hunter, you gotta give me 20-25.
That's what I'm
because they got dudes on there that can put the ball in the basket. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They bench squad. Right? They bench squad can fucking put the ball in the basket.
And he ain't worried about that 8-man rotation shit. He playing everybody.
Like I know they sitting there like, man, Austin Reeves the best third option. Hey, hold on, y'all. They got people that can put the ball in the basket. One had a really bad game. Ty Jerome, yeah. He had a horrible game, but he plays weird.
Yeah.
He has a weird game. Yeah. So, I don't think he gonna play bad game 3. A decent game from him pushed him over the edge. So
you know how it is on the road, though, in the playoffs.
2 points, 1 for 14.
That's what I said. I'm not sold.
1 for 14.
Yeah, he gonna keep putting them up. I'm not sold on Indiana winning game 3.
Going on the road.
I'm not sold on Indiana game 3. It's more their crowd that I'm worried about, not the team itself. Because you know what I mean. There's nobody I like. It's team basketball. It's not a takeover. When they're playing the last 5 minutes, it's like who's getting the ball. Right?
I disagree, man. I
disagree. Like Siakam?
That's their go-to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's their go-to.
When
he ain't a Brunson out this motherfucker. No. He ain't somebody we're going to be like, oh, shit, let's load up. We're going to be like, all right, is he on fire or not?
That's not their game, though.
I know.
Their game is not half court. No. They do not want to play half.
And I think what Gil said there, though, makes a good point. You look at the Cavs and the Celtics right now, right? Those are the two teams we thought would find themselves on a collision course. Shout out to Parent John. He said, feel a lot better when Boston lost. Shout out to you, Parent John. Hope you're feeling better, but after the other night. And yeah, I mean, I guess it does make you feel better a little bit as a Cavs. But I think the Cavs and the Celtics are somewhat similar in terms of why are they both down 0-2, right? These are supposed to be the two teams we thought would meet each other in the next round at the conference finals all year long. We thought it was going to be a collision course with Boston and Cleveland, right? That's what everybody was looking forward to. And so why is New York up 2-0? Why is Indiana up 2-0? If you look at New York and Indiana, they play really good team basketball. I think better than the Cavs and the Celtics do. The Celtics and the Cavs have better star talent. Now, the Cavs, to their credit, to their disadvantage is both their top 2 guys outside of Mitchell didn't play last game. They're hurt. Mobley and Garland especially. And DeAndre Hunter's out. The Celtics, though, talent-wise, they're more talented than the New York Knicks. But why they find themselves at the end of those games? They shoot themselves out of games, just like the Cavs. I feel like force themselves out of games at times offensively because it's live by the 3 or die by the 3. It's just analytical basketball. And I think what you're seeing is, teams that don't use aren't just solely based analytical, offensively driven teams, live by the 3, die by the 3. And the Knicks and Indiana that play good team basketball, play smart. You saw Indiana at the end of that game getting the ball inside the mismatch to Turner and getting the easy 2 points down low, right? That adds up. And so it's smart basketball. And they play to their strengths and their advantages. They don't try to force things. And that's why I think you're seeing the two teams that are play team ball up 2-0, while the other two teams like to force a lot of threes. Now, the Cavs, granted, they got the injuries, so they have a little more of an excuse. But still, the style of plays, when you try to force things, try to jack up threes, Donovan Mitchell's not shooting the ball well from 3. I think he was 1 of 7 the last game. That's, on 30 shots. So he's taken 60 shots so far. I think this first two games as well, which is a lot. it's a lot of forcefulness, and you see those two teams are down 0-2. I just think it's something. I think it's something that people should pay attention to. Why those two teams are up 2-0, why the other two teams are are down 0-2. Now, who knows? Both series could flip and both teams could take over, but I think it wouldn't be because of all of a sudden they just start hitting shots or the hero ball started working, because they started playing better team basketball, both teams, and got stops and started doing the things that got them to where they were all year. So let's take a listen to McCants here at the end.
Court. They want to push and pace, and they want to drag. Drag it, and then Miles Turner, what does he want to do? Dribble, fucking handoff, slide off for the little jumper. So what they're doing is fucking Cleveland up is the dribble handoff, where you got to keep guarding and switching. Then you got Halliburton get his switch off. Then they making a play. That's what's leaving Ty Jerome really, really vulnerable. And then he's putting more effort in trying to score because he's not supposed to be out there to do that right now.
Yeah, and I think Rashad hit the point I made after game one. You go back to game one in that film, they were switching everything so much that I think they were over switching at times. There was plays where Ty Jerome was guarding Halliburton, I believe it was, and Dean Wade was guarding Pascal Siakam, and Siakam came up and set a screen. He didn't even touch Ty Jerome, yet we still switched it. And what did Halliburton do? He just took Dean Wade right to the basket because it's a mismatch. But we didn't have to switch that. I just feel like the Cavs, too, are just kind of getting beat up in the series. They're being overfit. The physicality, they're losing the physicality battle. You saw guys at the end of that game the other night in the inbounds kind of get shoved around a little bit, not boxing out properly, not putting body on a guy, you saw that play there with Ty Jerome, that inbound play at the turnover, kind of got pushed around, swam over by Nembhard, and he lost the 50-50 ball in the air. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad pass. I think it was more of his fault for not keeping the seal and being more physical. That's a man-on-man, mano-a-mano, and he lost that. He just got overpowered, and you saw what happened. It cost him the game. And so the Cavs have been pushed around a lot this series. They've been the physicality has just not been there, in my opinion. And against a team like Indiana, it's got to be there, but they're just getting beat up a little bit.
So now he's out there shooting 1 for 14, and he's supposed to be facilitating. But now you got the other two guys that are out who facilitate too. Now you're just looking at Strus and Okoro and Wade. Now we looking at Cleveland like, was they bench really like that though? Or did they just play well as a team? And I'm looking at Indiana like they have a better team than Cleveland.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom, they have a better team. They just play a different style.
Everybody knows their role, though, delivers in their role.
And they don't have no superstars to be able to say what you said, which is if we got both of these, we know we can get it done. But if we got one, is our role players strong enough to get these role players out of here? I don't think so.
No. Cleveland has the better team, top to bottom. You're talking about like they literally had a fucking meltdown in the fourth quarter. Other than that, they was whooping Indiana's ass.
Indiana was playing bad.
Well, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is from tip off to the damn top of the foot, it was an ass whooping. And if you look at the last 5 minutes, it literally was just Donovan Mitchell, trying to make every play. And I understand that you have it on a heater, but you really burned yourself out.
Yes.
Right, trying to keep this lead, and you can't count. You missing this shot, this man is missing, and you know how it gets, right? Because when you're tired, the offensive foul, this turnover here, like it was. We didn't score in the last 2 minutes. Like it was. We had 117. What was it?
Instead of trusting somebody,
right? They was for the last 2 minutes. They didn't score one bucket, but all that had to happen.
119, 120.
Yeah, and so I agree with Gil's point there at the end, and that's where I think. And I've brought that about Donovan in the past. I've thought at times at the end of the games he's too forceful. He burns himself out. He can make it a little easier on himself, but I feel like as the coach too, you got to help out in that situation. As the coach, you're in charge of rotations. It's your team at the end of the day. You're the one that's in charge. You could have ran some of the same rotation you had the first half. Maybe when Jerome comes out, put another point guard out there and Porter, even for another 4 or 5 minutes, and let Donovan that 4 or 5 minutes go off the ball a bit more and run more of your offense to make things easier on yourself. And Gil hit the nail on the head right there at the end. I don't think Indiana is a better team top to bottom we are. They're better in certain areas. They do things a little better than we do. We do things better than they do. But they have certain advantages in terms of their size. I think on the perimeter, they're bigger than us on the perimeter. But the Cavs, though, from a talent standpoint, top to bottom, yes, we know they're hurt. But you go back to game 1 and game 2, though, you're in those games. It came down to the execution and just you let them back in the game. It's like he said, they kicked their ass for most of that game in 3 quarters. The Cavs were playing pretty well for 3 quarters. That 4th quarter, I broke it down. You guys, all those plays, the forcefulness on offense, hero ball, not doing what you've done all year, not getting back on defense because you're too tired and you're burned out. The rotation's not great. Ty Jerome's not in the game at that one point. Remember I showed at the end of the game there, we got Strus out there doing reversal layups because you had nobody else besides Donovan that can really put the ball on the floor and create and try to make a play. And Jerome's on the sideline. He only played 29 minutes the whole game. He didn't like he played a lot of minutes, but the rotations were jacked up. Again, coaching, players, execution all around. The Cavs cost themselves that game. And I thought they did it in game 1 too. I thought they should have won that game. And I feel like they gave that game away. Now Indiana was better, but I thought the Cavs just did a lot of things in game 1 that really put themselves in a bad spot. And why they lost that as well. And so now you're down 0-2. You didn't win 8 of the games at home. So, man, it's tough. But that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully tomorrow night, we'll see if they can get a win. Hopefully we can get some guys healthy. It'd be nice to see if Garland can come back. It'd be nice to see if, the other 2 guys, Hunter and Mobley, can come back. We'd see his full strength. But I think those guys are right. Garland is the X factor. If Garland can come back healthy, I think the Cavs have a chance. If they don't, I have a lot of concerns. I mean, not saying they can't win one, but it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be tough, and like it's been, it's still gonna be tough. It's gonna be tougher at the field house too because it's louder. So I don't know. We'll see. If you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share, and check out more content over here on this channel over at The Real. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here.